A gesture represents the way that the user interacts with the screen on a device. Currently we have this red box here, which is just a container, and if we tap on it, obviously nothing is going to happen. But what if we wanted to allow the user to interact with this box? For example, when they tap on it, it opens up a new route, or it triggers some other change in a stateful widget, or something like that. The most fundamental building block for detecting user interaction is the gesture detector widget. A gesture detector will allow you to detect certain events that happen on the child widget that it's wrapping. And as you can see here, there's a ton of different gestures that we can detect. Things like taps, double taps, scales, pans, etc. Each of these properties can take a function that will handle the event when it takes place in the UI. In many cases, the event handler will be a function that calls setState on a stateful widget to re-render the UI, because you typically want to show some kind of change in the UI when the user interacts with it. For right now, we'll just go ahead and print to the console. And now when we tap on our red square, it will print tapped in the console below. A gesture detector is a low-level building block, so more often than not you can use one of Flutter's other built-in widgets to detect gestures with things like inkwells and buttons. And all of Flutter's scrolling widgets, which we'll look at later, will automatically handle the different drag events. Another useful widget you should know about is the inkwell. So we'll go ahead and replace our gesture detector with an inkwell, and this is specific to material, and it's used to kind of create your own custom buttons. So it's a little lower level than a button, but it's more high level than a gesture detector. The gesture detector made our red square tappable, but it didn't really make it animated with an inkwell like you would normally expect in a material app. So if you have something that's like a button, but a regular button really doesn't fit the use case, then you can use an inkwell inside of the context of material, and it will give you this ink splash effect when it's tapped. But a lot of your interactivity will just happen through tapping on a button, and Flutter has a whole bunch of different built-in button widgets. Some of the most common ones include the flat button, the raised button, icon button, and the floating action button. The limitation with a button is that they only have this onPressed event handler, so they're really just for the specific use case of a button, and not really designed to handle any kind of gestures beyond being pressed. So that's how you add user interactivity into your Flutter app. As we go through the course, we'll see additional built-in widgets that are also interactive right out of the box.